Okay, yep. This is as bad as I honestly think it is. It really is. This is a worst case scenario. Uh, so this is really getting as bad as I. Oh no. Oh my god. This is cringy, and it's hard to kind of think about. Wait, give me a second. Kyle Maxwell Photography here. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a video review, and I am typically not the type of dude who goes on the internet and reacts to a bunch of videos, but I am a amateur photographer. With that being said, I usually document things like thunderstorms or any weather events. And right now, weather here in North Carolina is a little bit dry. And because of that, I've been trying to think of anything to do outside of cocktails. So with that being said, I had this one video kind of show up in my feed on YouTube every now and then, and it did kind of pique my interest. So I thought, well, why don't I just go ahead and review it and see how it goes. So before we start, I will say right off the bat, I am not a professional, so take anything I say with a grain of salt. Again, I am just an amateur photographer. I am in no means a professional, nor should I be the first person that you go to for information. But if you do have any questions for me, I can do my best to answer. No guarantee that they're going to be 100% accurate, because after all, I am just more of an enthusiast more than anything else. So with that, let's begin. Now the video we're going to be watching is this one right here. And I've seen this pop up in my feed quite a bit. And right off the bat, there's something here to note. News lady gets emotional and saves lives when a tornado touches down. Okay. This is kind of confusing for me. Saving lives but getting emotional on live on television. So this is where I feel like it's going to be very contradicting, and where I feel like the title to this is not as accurate or is not as heroic as Joshua here is making it sound, because the expectation that I'm having is she's going to be distracting in a sense. And the thing is, when you're in danger and there's a tornado going down going down near a studio. And here's the thing: I'm wondering if this is the one in Mississippi, the Easter tornado in Mississippi. It was like 2.5 miles wide. Is it this one? I don't know which one it is. Indian Springs. I'm trying to see if I recognize any towns, because I used to actually live in Mississippi, but I'm not seeing any towns I can recognize, at least not off of the preview. So I don't know. Maybe I will recognize a couple of things, but I believe Easter was the one that where Mississippi had an EF4 at 2.5 miles wide, and to hear that a news lady getting emotional, which is more than likely being very distracting, I feel is very contradicting to saying, "Oh, she saved so many lives." But I digress, and I'm gonna go in with an open mind, with no expectations. I'm just gonna. I'll probably pause every now and then in between, and then kind of have my kind of initial thoughts and opinions. I have not watched this yet, so again, maybe I'm completely wrong with my opinion. But right now, so far, my expectations are kind of low, but also not going in this lady's favor. But who knows? Let's see. Headphones are up. All right. Is this the highest quality? All right, let's make sure we get... Oh, this is 60 FPS. I don't have that set, but it's fine. All right, let's go.
Galliford Road. We've got, here's Highway 153. So we are located, our studios, we are located right here. So I'm hearing something. Did you hear anything? Just like anything outside?
Well, I mean, I just heard and I'm just hearing the rain at this point.
I heard something squeak. I didn't know if that was the chair.
Too, but it might have been, my chair.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't anything outside. So again, I mean, Bill, we are kind of right in the middle of this as well. Not getting reports, not hearing anybody in the newsroom, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and step off and kind of alert the newsroom that we potentially are kind of seeing the worst of it right now. So Heather, producer Heather, everybody, we are kind of in the worst part of it here locally at the station.
Pause. Okay, so the thing is, Chattanooga. So this is okay. So this is definitely towards the Mississippi area. Mississippi. Okay, that's not necessarily important, but the part that I really want you to understand is that they should already kind of be in the know about that they might be in danger. So the fact that she's kind of walking offset now to alert them, seeing how they already kind of knew that they were probably going to be in danger, like they should have probably already been in the know of this. So the fact that she's kind of stepping offset for a second, it seems like she's not really doing a good job of communicating to the station that, hey, we might be in danger, because I feel like this is something where she probably should have already alerted them ahead of time. If there really is a confirmed tornado, then I feel like this shouldn't necessarily be a problem, and this is kind of, like I said, kind of her not doing her job and kind of not alerting people of the impending danger. But this is only a snippet. I don't have the full video, so who knows?
So just be careful. Make sure you guys are staying away from windows. We are included in a tornado warning right now.
Have people that we have here, and we don't have a big staff in the newsroom, but we certainly have some very important people out there that we need to keep warned as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing to note, we do have TDOT cameras that have just gone down. So, David Glenn working from home, he has lost power. Now we're seeing the TDOT cameras down as well. We still have our storm cams up, but again, we are seeing some very significant storms right now just along Highway 153, just to the east of that, now approaching the Harrison area, and then just to the north of Interstate 75 right here. But again, kind of riding along East Brainerd Road, the Hamilton Place area, Westview Elementary, Appleton and Ottawa. Please, if you are not in your safe area already, we are losing power here. I believe we are still on with my mic.
Yeah,
if you can still hear me, we are still on.
We normally have backup power in the studio. The lights came back on.
Okay, good. So,
there may be, we have emergency power as well.
Okay, good. So again, we are some losing power here at the station. We are located along Highway 153, south of the Chickamauga Dam. We do have an active tornado warning, and it looks like they may have just updated that. I'm seeing that flash there on the screen. We're going to get that pulled up in just a moment. But again, areas that are east of Chattanooga, especially looking at some very active weather right now, very dangerous weather. It looks like they have this warning that is extended into portions of Ooltewah. So even if you are not included in that, of course, you are still looking at some severe threats. So.
Okay, I've got to pause this through here. I got to pause it quick here because this is where I'm kind of just like, oh my god, because she seems very antsy. Which I understand why you'd be antsy in that scenario, but the problem with this being is that you got a professional on TV who is seemingly not like, she seems scared, right? But also this is a moment where you kind of need to keep your composure and kind of keep your cool, even if you're in like the danger of it as she thinks she is. But she kind of seems quick to assume that she's in immediate danger, which it's always good to have that mindset that, hey, I'm in a threat, but she also has the job of informing other people that, hey, you could be in danger too. And she seems kind of like she's not focusing in a sense. And that's kind of like, I don't know, if I was watching this on TV, I would feel kind of like, are you sure like you got everything you're saying? Because she seems kind of nervous and, in a sense, kind of jumping to conclusions before she can actually confirm for herself. Like, oh yeah, power's out. Like, she kind of seems to have that feeling of nervousness, and you kind of have a feeling of, are you sure what you're saying is accurate? Because you don't seem to have your composure set. So this is where I'm kind of feeling a little bit iffy of what she's saying. I'd feel a little bit iffy of what she was saying. I'd still take it seriously, but I would still kind of feel like you need to keep your composure. You can't get distracted or emotional in any way if you're trying to describe to people impending danger. But moving on.
On top of the tornado warning that we have, we've also got a severe thunderstorm warning that is going to be with us at least for another 35 minutes there through midnight. But again, that red area you see near East Brainerd, that's where we are looking at an active tornado warning that is in effect right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my iPad and try to get some additional information for you guys.
This has been about 8 minutes ago that that was when they issued a tornado warning for northern Catoosa County in northwest Georgia until 11:30.
Georgia.
So this is just about expired. Meantime,
okay, so this isn't a
thunderstorm.
Pause. So I thought this was going to be talking about that Easter tornado in Mississippi. So no, Chattanooga and all this area. So this looks like it's in the Georgia. Oh yeah, I see the icon. I don't even know why I didn't notice that. So this is in the Georgia, Tennessee area.
Morning. I'm going to pull up some information here for you and see if they have updated anything about that. A severe thunderstorm warning. This was at 22 minutes after the hour. About 6 minutes ago, remains in effect until midnight for Hamilton County. A severe thunderstorm was located over Chattanooga, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm. 70-mile-per-hour wind gust possible with that is their estimation on that.
Okay, at 11:25 p.m., a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Ringgold.
Oh my God, no. No. Okay, this is getting really bad. We'll wait for this.
You can come on over here for a moment.
Okay, yep. This is as bad as I honestly think it is. It really is. This is a worst case scenario. So this is really getting as bad as oh no. Oh my God. This is cringy and it's hard to kind of think about. Wait, give me a second.
Here, let me see if I can just, I know it's very emotional time and we already have so many emotional things going on here.
Okay. So here's the thing. When your job is to alert people that there is a large and the dude she said on the iPad that we have a large, dangerous tornado, confirmed, by the way, it is confirmed, as she said, going through populated areas. Her main job is to alert everyone that you are in danger, your life's in danger, your property's in danger, and it's a life-threatening scenario. She has to step offset to cry and let her emotions get in the way of doing her job. And this is where I'm going to have to make a very controversial statement. She needs to be fired. But after this, yeah, you're done. Because it is extremely distracting to see someone, if you're in the middle of trying to get to shelter, by human nature, if you see another person in pain, you have a tendency to kind of drop everything. And especially if you're in the middle of a tornado warning, even if it's just for a split second, you kind of have a tendency to get distracted. That very moment could be you forgetting to put on shoes or forgetting to put on a raincoat. And let's say you forgot your shoes, tornado goes over your home, destroys it. You step on something, you break your ankle, you fall over, hit your head. It could kill you. Or you forget to put on your raincoat. Tornado goes over your home. You forgot to put on your raincoat. It rains on you. Usually tornado follows a lot of rain. And as you can tell, it's that dead of night right there. So chances are it's probably cold. You could get sick and you could die from sickness. Yeah, it's that specific. So the fact that she is failing to communicate to the public that a large tornado is on the ground. And she didn't even get to the counties yet. She didn't even tell which counties were being affected. She didn't say what cities were being affected. She couldn't even get to, well, we kind of know a time, but she couldn't even get to where it was actually being affected. That is a huge red flag that you are not fit to be doing any of this stuff.
So let me just see this. Tornado.
Oh, and also, I want to point out that they have to go to someone else. She needs to have someone else do her job for you. Again, this is where I have to say she needs to be fired because she is letting her emotions get in the way of doing her job. And her main job right now is to alert the public that, hey, there is a very dangerous situation going on right now and it can kill you if you do not take action. She is failing to do her job and she's letting her emotions get in the way. And honestly, when it comes to the world of science, or really any job, let's be real, if your emotions get in the way, find a new career.
Tornado warning remains in effect until 11:45. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Ringgold, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Particularly dangerous situation, and you need to take cover right now. And so maybe we can, we'll see if we can't get this pulled up here so we can kind of see where we're headed here. And it just it'll take me just a moment here. And
oh my God, it's even more distracting because you're trying to listen, but every now and then you hear the woman kind of sniffle. That's once again kind of back to the part where I'm saying this is just being very distracting because I'm trying to listen in, but every now and then I just saw her walk off set, and then I'm trying to focus on what the dude's seeing, but every now and then I kind of hear her sniffle. It's just that it's not too distracting, but it's to the point where you kind of lose focus for a second, and this is what I'm talking about. You should not be a distraction, and you should not cause your people to lose focus. You should, like, that is the last thing you need to be doing, and you are doing the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing.
you know, it's just kind of just one of those things that, you know, after you're reporting on this for so long, and that it does become very stressful.
And as you can tell here, she is not only being a distraction to the viewers, she seems to be very much of a distraction to her coworker who's having to do the job for her because she is just not mentally capable of handling a stressful situation like this. And she is kind of now starting to, you can see that he's starting to be a little bit distracted as well. And this is where I go into that idea as, you know, humans, when we see other humans in pain, we kind of get distracted. And we also kind of want to help out in a sense, but he cannot afford to be too much help to her because right now, like, his main priority for him should be the people, not necessarily the coworker, because it's either helping her, one person in the station, or helping like probably hundreds, maybe thousands of people in all these cities that are going to be affected, right? So it's a numbers game, and she is kind of working against, like, you know, the main priorities. So, and unfortunately, the male sounds like he's being a little bit affected as well. And maybe he's starting to be a little bit distracted and suddenly not getting his priorities straight.
And so here is, you know, kind of what we're looking at as far as the reflectivity is concerned in some of the darker areas here as that continues to move eastward. And so
stuff.
I see, you know, we still have that kind of odd looking, polygon that they have put up there for this particular warning. But obviously this is going to be a very serious situation, as it was, you know, you don't see that kind of language very often. And I think,
again, every now and then I hear of a little bit of a sniffling, and it's just like it's a little bit of a distraction. Again, this is what I'm going into. And again, everything he's kind of describing is pretty typical when you see any tornado warning. They might have weird polygons that are saying. And everything else he said was actually pretty standard.
I think that kind of also surprised Aaron a little bit to see that kind of language in a warning.
Yes.
And so, you know, it happens occasionally, and so it's okay.
I know. It's just, you know, I'm from the Nashville area, and they just had their...
Yes, that's right. I mean, you know, how many more things, you know, have we got to go through here?
Shut the fuck up. Stop, all right? This is the moment where I roll my eyes and be like, cool, you're from the Nashville area. Nobody fucking cares. All right? No one gives a shit if you're from the Nashville area. If I'm just now tuning into the weather station, you know, if I'm just now tuning in and I need to know if I'm in danger, I don't fucking care. I want to know if I'm in danger, right? I might have just now tuned in and I'm hearing this one woman getting emotional because, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be doing I'm just from the Nashville area, and it's kind of personal for... Boo-hoo, right? Like, I need to know if I'm gonna fucking die or not. Like, I need to know if I'm being affected. I need to know exactly what's going on. Shut up and tell me what's going on. That should be your main priority. And once again, she is distracting his coworker as well as distracting other people. So, the titles here saying, oh yeah, saving lives, I have a hard time believing that. She's being pretty distracting. And she's, oh god, this is a mess. That's all I'm going to say. This is a fucking mess.
far as within a very short distance of us, and then they had the tornado damage in Nashville, and then then the pandemic, the tornado damage kind of got pushed off the headlines a little bit, but they're still putting things together.
Let's go and pull up the velocity. Again, I'm going to try to read this again. At 11:25 p.m., it's 11:29 now. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Ringgold and moving east at 45 miles per hour.
Congratulations. You finally did your job. And it only took you, what was it, like 2-3 minutes? Just to get past the first part. It should not take you more than 2 to 3 minutes to explain, what the National Weather Service says. So in this case, it's a tornado warning issued for what areas, moving in which direction. So like National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for so-and-so counties until blah, blah, blah. This tornado is moving in so-and-so direction at so-and-so miles per hour. Usually they'll be able to tell you which cities are most likely to be affected. A lot of times they'll have that. So in this case, they're telling you that, all these cities right here, I'm pointing at the screen as if you can see that, but they're saying, how all these cities here are going to be the ones affected and all that. And then they'll also tell you, the steps you need to take to make sure that you're safe. That should not take more than 3 minutes. She was on set and it just took her it literally just took her like 2 minutes just to muster up the courage just to get that first part done. That's a bad sign. That is a sign that she needs to be cut and she should not be doing what she's doing, because this is just something that would cost a lot of lives.
From the National Weather Service, you are in a life-threatening situation.
Oh my God. She's doing it again. She's letting her emotions get in the way. She is starting to bawl her eyes out again. She cannot afford to do this. This is awful.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Well, don't be. I think that there's a lot of people that feel the same way you do.
I'm sure they do, but I'm sure they're more stressed because they need to know, like I said, imagine if you're just now tuning into that location for the first time, and you need to know if you're in danger or not, and you have this one woman who's bawling her eyes out. Not to mention, you're going to, be distracted for the fact, why is she crying? But also, why are they not telling me if I'm affected or not? It's just so many combination of things that overall I think are going to cost more lives in the long run than it would save.
I know.
And we're just humans, and we're giving you the best information we can.
Right.
And
not that great.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Get off the screen. Go.
See, you are in a life. What they had said in the impact part of this is that you are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those who are caught without shelter.
That's kind of a part I forgot to mention. So yeah, in a couple, in 3 minutes, he's kind of mentioned. They'll always kind of give a report from National Weather Service again. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, flood warning, whatever. They're going to give you the warning. They're going to give you, for what counties impacts, for instance, severe thunderstorm warning, maybe hail, wind gusts, cloud to ground lightning, maybe some torrential rainfall that could cause some flooding. With the tornado warning, of course, impact, tornado, flying debris and all that. And of course, they're always going to give you the time of when the warning is going to end. They're going to tell you where the tornado was located. And then they're going to tell you which direction it's probably moving in, and then, all the other stuff.
Mobile homes are a very dangerous place to be. Considerable damage to homes possible. But, a lot of this is language that they would put in this situation. That doesn't necessarily mean that is what is happening.
The fact that he is trying to... Okay, first of all, bad mood by the male dude. All right, by the male reporter, that's already a really bad move, because he's saying, well, that's the wording they're putting in there, but that's not necessarily true. He's kind of sugarcoating the information to make it sound not as bad as it should seem. You should never do that if your job is to... So think of it like this. Imagine that there's a tornado right here in Charlotte, right? And I'm reporting. And the way how I say is, well, the National Weather Service says that, there's a large violent tornado confirmed on the ground. But they word it like that, so that's not necessarily the case. You see me acting all nonchalant about it like it's no big deal. The thing is, I'm portrayed as a professional. So chances are you are going to think, well, he's acting like it's no big deal. So why should I treat it like it's a big deal? Right? Like, so the fact that he kind of treated it as a nonchalant thing, like, oh yeah, it's a big tornado, but they word it like that all the time. You know, like, that's not the way you should handle that situation. And I really do feel like it's because of this weather lady right here who's kind of who's causing kind of a breakdown and kind of disorganizing everything and throwing everything out of whack. This is where I see to save lives. I don't think this is accurate. I'll definitely try to make sure I do my research and find this tornado, I guess, where it hit, because it does say it was in this area at around 11:30 and all that. Looks like it was in Georgia, so I think I can easily find that.
But that is what some of the impacts could be in this kind of situation. So, we want to kind of, make sure that we keep that in perspective. But obviously, this is, a very serious situation.
Yeah.
You can see that mentally she is not there on the TV. You can see that she just had a breakdown and she's just trying to focus. You can see that she is just, she cannot focus at all. She is mentally just, she's there, but she's not there. And honestly, anything she's saying at that point, God knows how accurate it is, because the amount of emotions and all that in her body, which is probably just corrupted and made all the things that usually would be accurate suddenly not accurate, because she's just had a huge, everything all at once happening. I wouldn't rely off of her at this point. I would rather go to the national weather, not even the dude anymore, because he's kind of having to comfort her while also trying to be, as accurate as he can, but also now he's kind of sugarcoating information, and I wouldn't trust both of them at this point, unfortunately, because of this.
And again, they have confirmed that it is on the ground right now and moving to the east. So we are watching for the Silverdale and the Ooltewah areas, especially right now, and those areas along East Brainerd Road, Westview Elementary, that general area. This is also that is just to the east of Hamilton Place, and also approaching Ooltewah Ringgold Road, where it meets East Brainerd Road. But very concerned here about this very strong wind that we're seeing in the East Brainerd area, just south of Interstate 75. And approaching Ooltewah right now, where we do have very damaging wind gusts being reported at the very least. But again, the National Weather Service has said there is a confirmed large tornado on the ground right now. We're getting a closer look at some of those area streets. So again, this is south of Interstate 75. This is by Valley View Subdivision. A very dangerous situation over by Bill Reed Road, Standifer Gap Road, and just north of East Brainerd Road. Excuse me, so we do have a lot of lightning associated with this too. We have people that have lost power. David Glenn, our chief meteorologist working from home, has lost power. We also had a power glitch here in the studio. We are located along Highway 153 south of the dam, where we've also seen some of those power outages too. Let's take a look.
We could have you take a little break just for a moment. Why don't you just come on over and I'll talk for a little while. It's okay.
Oh, Pesos Hank. All right. Yeah. This is kind of it was kind of as bad. I honestly did not want to come in and think that was probably going to be the very thing. But this was, and supposedly this one was in Georgia. Chattanooga. Okay. This one's in Tennessee. Yep, so this would be the one. So it wasn't EF3. Damage, 2 fatalities, 18 injuries. Okay, so this one did cause injuries and a couple of fatalities. And this is where I feel like I'm going to be more harsh on the woman. But again, I feel like it's kind of well-deserved. I feel like those casualties and injuries are honestly because she failed to do her job in communicating and kind of distracted everyone. And as a result, people probably didn't get to shelters quick. I would bet my life that, this definitely was distracting and probably contributed to at least some of the injuries. Maybe not necessarily even, probably, maybe even the deaths, I would even say. But I would bet my life that, her actions and her, pretty much her distracting not only probably the people watching, but also the fact that she was not able to tell everyone what the danger was and where it was at. And then also distracting the other dude. Again, I don't know her name, I don't know his name. But it's the fact that she was also distracting the other man who was supposed to, and the other man had to actually kind of hold her hand along the way and like, yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, like it almost felt like she was having to babysit her. And the fact that he had to step in and do her job when it was her job to be doing the chief meteorologist who was at home at the time. And I'm pretty sure the chief meteorologist was not happy of how she handled everything. If I was the one running that news place, I'd cut her out immediately, because you can't afford to get emotional. You can't get distracted. You have to do your job regardless of, and especially the fact that she also made it personal. That's also like a really big no-no, because she was getting emotional and she took it personally to the point where it just got really bad to that extent. So again, this is kind of my reaction. It was not good. It was not pretty. She probably didn't save lives. She's probably the reason why those two people died, as you can see right here, as well as probably contributing to the injuries as well, because people probably probably didn't know that they were in danger because she was just bawling her eyes out and they just didn't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But if she sees this, and if it turns out she's still doing the job, how the fuck are you still there? Honestly, how are you still there? Because you can't afford to let that happen again. I'm sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. But yeah, I would not be surprised if she's fired. I would not be surprised. In fact, I think that's for the better. It was bad. Yeah, that was just about as bad as it's going to get. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I know this is a lot different from what I'm used to doing, whether it be time lapses or other forms of things, but take everything I kind of said with a grain of salt, but this is just kind of my look at it. I know the idea of maybe you feel bad for her, like, oh, well, I can understand why it's emotional, but yeah, she also has a job to do, and she did not do her job, and she let her emotions get in the way of doing her job. So it seems kind of extreme, but then the more and more you think about it, it would actually just make sense. So with that being said, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. Hopefully when thunderstorms start firing up here, I can get some time lapses and some other photography and other tutorials going on through. I got something actually really special going on for here. Actually, if you're in other countries, you've probably already seen it at some point. But if you live here in the US, something else special is happening here, spring 2021. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but I will kind of give a snippet from something I posted on my Instagram page. So if you want to follow it, search me up on Kyle Maxwell Photography on Instagram. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a photo, a little bit of a sneak peek. All right, I think that's good enough. So with that being said, I will see you all later.